So just go ahead and get into it because you're the one who best to do a live DR.
Well, I was suggesting for the GPA points now that I think I'm staying. But, um, girl, I wanna say my thoughts, but I don't want to, be mean, and I feel like I'm gonna be mean if I just talk unprompted. So, you got any questions for me?
Okay. Um, so what has been your concern this week?
Going the fuck home, first of all.
So okay, well let's start at the fact that you threw the veto.
Uh
Um, and it ended up on the blocks. What happened with that?
I got a little too confident in my game, I guess. I got too comfortable. I I knew that she was gonna be limited options if Sammy or Crow won, or even Michael won, but I was just hoping that one of them did not win. Like, I really thought since she wanted fucking Sammy out so bad, she would have actually done good, but and God forbid, she needs to win a competition for herself. Um, so yeah, I just didn't think it through, and I'm like, "Hey, whatever, I'm just gonna throw it," because if I won, then I would have been stuck with the choice of, like, either saving Sammy or saving Michael, and both of them would have expected me to save them, and Miranda would have also expected me not to use it. Now, knowing what I know now, fuck that bitch, I would have used it, but
Please.
but, like, with what I knew before, I thought she was loyal to me, and I didn't think, like, it would be me going up.
So let me ask you, because you've been saying like, oh, I'm playing like this is a new style of game for me. Like I've never done this whole under the radar thing. Da 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 da. Like, do you feel like now maybe there's a reason you weren't doing that before?
Well, I like okay, I still think this type of game works good, and I think I can pull it off if there were people in this game that I did not know before the game. Like, she kept on saying the reason why she nominated me was I'm, like, such a good player and I can win all these competitions. How the fuck do you know I can win all these competitions?
Ooh.
Who? Miranda, sorry. Did I not say that?
No, I said ooh.
Oh, I thought you said who. Yeah, Miranda, she's been saying, like, all of that, and I'm like, "What competition like, what have I really won in this?" I was basically handed the veto from Shanks that I won, and the HOH, like, I don't even remember what it was, but whatever, one competition, let's say, that I actually, like, had to win. Out of everyone else here, Shanks has 3, Jordan has 3. Why would I be the one that's, like, scary in competitions? How she's saying, like, she needs to take a threat out. Like, it seems very, like, targeted because we have played together before, and she
Mhm.
knows, like, how I can play. I feel like she was going based off of that.
So, so you feel like if you leave, it'll like basically be purely for metagame reasons. Is what I'm hearing.
Maybe not why I'm leaving, but why I was put on the block. Because I can't think of another reason why Miranda would have nominated me. Because
Mhm.
I haven't said anything about her. I haven't, like, made any moves against her. I even like, I could have done this to her when I was HOH and veto last week. Like, I had the opportunity to do
Mhm.
it, and I didn't. Even though, like, I had those thoughts about her in my head, because, like I said, we've played together. I chose to ignore those because I'm like, "That's not fair to bring that into this game."
So let's get into your last week, actually. So you ended up putting up Crow and Val and got Val out, even though some people were in your ears wanting you to do something else. So
Mhm.
looking back, do you regret how the week went down, or like do you still feel like that was the right decision for you at the time?
I mean, looking back, I would say I should have got Miranda out, but that's, like, not even valid because before this week, there wasn't anything that would have made me think to get her out. But no, I think I still stand by it because Val I think she was with Miranda to begin with. Like, I think they had something. Miranda even basically admitted to the fact that she was trying to push for Crow to go home, which, like, she never said that to me at all. So, I think Val was with her regardless. So if Val stayed last week and didn't actually go home, that probably would have been a guaranteed number for me to go home this week, even if I didn't nominate her. So I stand by getting Val out.
Okay, interesting. So the final noms end up being you and your number one, Michael.
Mhm.
So, kind of when you saw that, how did you view the landscape of the house as far as like, okay, these are the people I need to try to get? Like, how were you kind of viewing everything? We want to hear how it goes. Was thinking.
Well, immediately, like last night, honestly, I was feeling pretty defeated, and when I'm feeling like I'm about to lose, I resort to like gaslighting. Like as I'm about to go out the door, I'm like, you know what? Let's try one last ditch effort. So I was low key just trying to like make people feel bad last night, and because I was like in my feelings, whatever. Like I was annoyed with all of it because I felt like I couldn't have controlled anything, and like no one was talking to me. Everyone was, like, very quiet and, like, shifty about where their votes were going. Like, even before the veto was used, I had a feeling it was gonna be me because, like, I don't know, I just, like, I felt it. There was weird vibes. So then I kinda just, like, was talking to Shinx. Shinx mainly was the one who was, like, giving me hope, and I'm like, "Okay, well, Shinx is one of the people who I honestly didn't even think would be wanting to keep me, and he was one of the people who was wanting to keep me the most." So I'm like, "Let's work off of that. If I can get Shinx, I need Blaze because they're together, and then that's 2 votes. Sammy and Crow are together, that's 2 votes. Jordan and Aiden together are 2 votes." So it's like, if it was gonna be a tie, well, it wouldn't be a tie because like, those 2 groups of people I don't think would vote against each other, like, if that makes sense. So there would never be a tie. It would either be like 4-2-6-0, like whatever. So I tried to get Sammy, which we already had like a pretty good relationship, and we've been working together up until this point, and I had a feeling I could get her. The only problem was I knew she was close to Michael, so I had to play it from like a strategic standpoint, not like a friend standpoint, because if it was based off of friendship, like I think she likes us both. The strategy wise, Michael's the pawn. Sammy and Miranda hate each other. So why would Sammy want to keep someone around who probably won't target Miranda versus me, who I'm definitely going to target her now? So it's like, even if we weren't allies, just the fact of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, like I think that played a huge part in this. And I think that's the same with Crow. Crow basically told me like he just wants to do whatever will piss Miranda off the most. So then I kind of played on into that even more by sending her into her little isolation so she can enjoy the quiet and not be able to defend anything that I say about her, because that was my approach with Aiden and Jordan, was to just like basically lie about what Miranda said to me. And I also think they just like came around to keeping me because they want to vote in the majority and they realized that they were outnumbered.
Okay, so I've seen you kind of mention in your diary room, like you're still feeling uncertain, like if votes have flipped, if like whatever, what's giving you like that feeling?
Um, just because it was kind of feeling quiet, I was getting paranoid because like if I'm not like when I'm on the block, I do get very in my head, very paranoid and like constantly thinking I'm gonna fuck up or say the wrong thing or just like not talk enough. Like if take a break from talking, like Michael's gonna all of a sudden swoop in and like get people to flip, and then it'll be too late, whatever. So I'm just like, I want to be present and in people's faces up until the vote so they don't forget that they are keeping me or like can't be swayed from it. So when people weren't talking to me, just like immediately in my head, I'm like, okay, they're voting me out. But I think some of the people just weren't online, and, like, now all of the people I said were ignoring me or, like, talking to me. And I was even talking to Michael, and he was saying, like, they pretty much confirmed they're evicting him. So, I feel more at ease, hence why I'm doing this live DR because 'cause I'm like, "Fuck, I need to get these
Mm,
points."
okay, so should you stay, kind of what would be your plan for HOH tonight?
Miranda boots down, she's got to go. Like, I'm sorry, no. I think too, Michael made a good point, and I was already kinda, like, thinking this in our one-on-one. He basically said, like, after this, because me and him are being, like, broken up right now. So after this, only one of us is gonna remain. There's 3 duos and then Miranda. So if I get Miranda out, all of these duos need to go for each other, and, like, they're not gonna think of the one lone person, they're gonna look at, like, the other duos in the game. Like, they're not gonna wanna keep around more competition to them. So I feel like it's going to be like navigating between those and figuring out who I want to side with, which I already kind of know who I want to side with. But it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fine. I think I'll be able to like maneuver my way back into the house.
Right. Interesting. And should you leave, what do you feel like would have went wrong?
Um, if I leave, there truly is nothing else I could have done. Like, I worked my ass off to flip the vote. It was basically like I was dead in the water after I was nominated. Like, everyone was kind of just saying, "Oh, well, it is what it is. Like, this is the majority vote." So I had to fucking work. So if I do end up going home, Michael probably threw me under the bus because everything I've done right up until this point has like solidified the fact that I am staying. And Michael is the only person who has like the information to like truly ruin my game if he wanted to use it. So that probably is what happened if I go home, but I don't think I'm going home. But if I get blindsided, I never said that.
Okay, very interesting. Um, so so just for clarification, where exactly do you think every vote is like going down? Like what's the vote breakdown to you right now?
I think I'm staying unanimously. Is that delusion? Stop. The way you're asking me that makes me think I'm like about to get blindsided.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's it.
I think that I am staying unanimously because I had the four of Blaze, Shinx, Sammy, and Crow. So if I had those four, Jordan and Aiden were going to keep me, and they only started telling me they were going to keep me when they realized I had the other four. So that makes me think like they're actually being genuine with saying that they're keeping me, and they're not just like telling me it to tell me it. Because also we're going to be in jury, and it doesn't make sense to like lie to me right as I'm about to go out the door. So yeah, I think I'm getting all the votes, but I could be fucking wrong.
Right, fair enough. And so moving forward, I'm just kind of interested, like what is like your plan for the game? Do you plan to like continue how are you playing right now, or how are you going to adapt your game?
No, I think it's the game of playing hide and seek is gone. Like it's not gonna be able to be like me just laying low anymore. I'm gonna go for this HOH, like this next one coming up. I'm gonna try and win. I'm gonna try and get Miranda out, and then honestly, I'm just gonna try and win every competition because it's gonna be what final 8 after this. Like I'm pretty sure I can comp out or like try to. So I think that just might be my strategy. Um, I think surviving this vote like was all of the like strategy mind power I had in my brain. Like I had to pull out like literally all the stops. So I feel like if I'm put on the block again, it's like I don't know how I'm gonna get out of that. But I also didn't know how I'm gonna get out of this. So like anything can happen. But my game plan is to move forward with like winning all the competitions or trying to win when I absolutely like should and not some of those like 50-50s. Like last night was a 50-50. Like, should I throw? Should I win it? Like, I don't know. And I just like decided to throw. Like, if I have a doubt in my head about throwing a competition, like, I'm just not going to throw it.
Right, sounds good. Well, that's all the questions they have.
Mm-hmm.
Got you in here.
Thank you for hosting this lovely confessional.
Mm-hmm.